Whenever you're ready, I guess. I mean, how do we even start this?
I mean, what's up?
What's up? How's it going?
Not bad. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. And you know,
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to talk to you about something today.
What was that?
You're a gamer.
I've been a gamer.
Yeah, I've been had gaming.
It's like a known fact about me.
What do you think of? I want to know, like, what do you think of the AAA space?
That's a big fucking topic, bro.
It is a big topic.
It's literally, there's so much in it. It's crazy.
So I mean, like, let's start with what was a AAA game, right? Like,
I mean, so like, I'm just going off like you know, my experience as a kid, right? You know, the first ever like AAA game I think I was exposed to was like Gears of War, probably, or like Halo 3. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Oh, Cap. It's Half-Life 2. That was the first video game I think I've ever played. Half-Life 2.
So I guess let me ask you this: with MMOs, right? Do MMOs count as like a AAA space? Because I would almost say that RuneScape was one of like the bigger games that I.
Oh
played.
yeah, I mean they can. They absolutely can. I think like I'd consider like WoW
A AAA game.
AAA game, yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess we'll get into more of what that means though. But like, yeah, I think that AAA has meant a lot of things over the year. Usually it used to mean what? Like just a game with.
I mean, the biggest budget, the best graphics, like the most to offer in terms of like story and multiplayer.
So like
it was like a plethora of things. Like we'll use like Halo 3 for example.
What year did that come out?
Oh Jesus, 2008.
2008. Because I think 2002, 2001 is when Legend of Zelda Wind Waker came out, right? And that was certainly a AAA game.
2007, dude.
2007.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, 2007. So, because Legend of Zelda Wind Waker came out in like 2002, and that certainly at the time would have been a AAA game, right?
I mean, yeah, I've never played Wind Waker. I've seen it though.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we played it a little bit on our channel.
But you never
actually.
played it. But like, I mean, it's Zelda, right? Like Zelda is consistently
makes
like
sense,
AAA. Like,
Yeah, they've been AAA
since
the
first one on the
fucking
NES,
Nintendo, yeah.
which is crazy that really is like what AAA used to be, was like Zelda for the NES, and like Mario. The first Mario was like.
Well, I mean, is it AAA when there's no other? Like it was just that, right? It was only a couple big companies that had enough money to make.
Yeah, but
the
then
games.
I think at the time a lot of the other people who were making them were like modders almost. You know what I mean? Like Doom was like a AAA game, but you didn't have you had to have like such hardware to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But then Doom gave so many people the ability to mod games.
Right.
That like
it kind of became like
its
a
own
form
genre.
of,
Yeah.
game development. Like indie arose from that
yeah,
sort of deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I mean, people were making WODs of their houses, and like that was those were different games. It wasn't Doom. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Well, and I watch like Action Button, and he has a video about Pac-Man where he's like, back when Pac-Man was released, it was at the time the AAA game.
Right.
It was like, the biggest game. Because, I mean, even still, you had like a bunch of stuff in arcades, right? Because that's what it came out in first.
Yeah.
And
it's
so,
like you had to go to a place to play it, and of
Interesting.
course, there's
So,
always one of those there. You know what I mean?
Were originally arcade games AAA?
Well, there would have had to have been like the bestseller ones that all arcades had. Like Pac-Man or like fucking
Donkey
Galaga. Or Donkey Kong, or I mean fucking all those classic ones, and of course pinball,
Street Fighter, right?
Oh yeah, Street Fighter, yeah.
Was like arcade right first?
Yeah,
I think
it was
so.
a cabinet first.
Yeah, so I mean that's what AAA was, right? So now, what do you consider AAA? So
unfortunately, I kind of think it's like devolved. Well, maybe not devolved, but like shifted in more of a skew.
In perspective, like it
of,
meant
what
something,
they need to do.
And at the time, meaning that meant something else. But now you just because it used to mean like you had the biggest budget, best graphics.
Yeah,
all
it was
these
like
things.
you were the best of the best, like top
and
of the.
It still means that, but now that has lost its meaning in itself, right? Like
I think
having
so,
the best budget, like best graphics and all of that, doesn't really mean anymore that person is also making a good game.
Well, for example, like Concord, right? Concord. $400 million budget
and
over 8 years. They had Sony support in their last year. Like, I mean, it was slated to be huge.
Yeah, it was.
And
it was supposed to be the biggest.
Dog shit.
And
it's so bad.
Literally, like you were telling me earlier, Sony bought that studio.
A year. I looked it up. It was a year before the release date. But they had already been working on it for fucking 7 years. So like, because you asked like, well, maybe Sony changed it, and it's like, no, they only had a year they just wanted the IP to lean on it and be like their new mascot.
Yeah, they wanted to have their own Overwatch.
Yeah, their own like Star Wars type franchise that they can make movies and all that sort of shit.
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting move to just make a game that already existed.
Basically, yeah, it's like a hero shooter again. Yeah, go for it. With maybe a little bit of a twist. I think it was bigger than most hero shooters, but
there was like most of the characters. Like I think there's tons of. I mean, I've seen tons of videos where it's like, oh, this character is. I never got the the honor of playing Concord, so I don't have the first-hand experience. But I've seen a lot of videos be like, oh, this character was just this character from this game, or like, oh, you're just playing as this from this game.
My favorite is there was a fat guy apparently. One of the characters was like a fat guy.
Okay.
And
nice.
the fat community was like, no, we hate this guy. I don't want fat people to be represented like this. This is ridiculous. Like we're not characters.
I mean, I really don't even know what else to say about Concord. Like that, it's like an enigma.
Yeah, it's so weird. But that's the thing is, so obviously that's not what AAA means anymore. To have the biggest budget, the best graphics, the most tech, like the the most funding or the most support from bigger developers.
I don't know. You couldn't just like. When you used to pay, when you knew a game was getting that funded, there was kind of an assumption that there was like, oh, there's going to be tons of stuff to like back up this budget.
You would hope, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be features and there's going to be, huge assets or like there's,
so
whatever.
I think a really good example. You hear that? I got so excited, my voice cracked.
I was like, oh.
I think a really good example of people who have stayed AAA despite not really ever being that is Valve.
Yeah, they never like boast about their AAA
pull
status.
Out your researcher there. How much did
assistant.
Half-Life 2 cost to make, or like Portal 2? Because I don't think that I think Valve would be a pretty good example. By the way, how crazy is it that we're the first talking show on the moon? We haven't even really mentioned that, but this is the episode from the moon. We plan on being on location for this show, so. This episode, I'm pretty excited to host it on the moon.
So, Half-Life 2 made $76 million.
Yeah, but how much did it cost to make? And what year did it come? Like, what would be another AAA game at the time? What came out around that time? Deus Ex? Are those near each other?
It cost $40 million to make.
Okay, so that's still like a pretty good budget.
What's the other game that when people are like, oh, can your PC run Crysis?
Crysis? Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it was in 2007, but it only had a $22 million budget.
Oh, and Half-Life came out in...
Oh, like earlier than that, I think, like 2006 or whatever,
maybe even earlier. Damn, yeah. No, I mean, that's crazy that Crysis only costed that much then.
But it's nuts, though, because that's what I was saying with Valve. They don't, like, claim their AAA status. They never, like, are like, hey, look at how much money we made off it, because they, like, don't expect that. They just want to push the boundaries
like,
of
recently,
gaming.
Half-Life 2 had its 20th anniversue.
Yeah, it was
and
free.
They just were giving it away.
They just said, here you go. Episode 1 and 2 and Half-Life 2.
Yeah, Half-Life 2, Episode 1, 2, and there's, like a full resolution update now, so it, like, looks better, like, on modern screens and stuff.
Yeah, it's perfect. It runs
And they
crisp.
just gave it away for free for, like, a week, and now it costs 99 cents still.
Yeah, but still $1 for 3 games?
Yeah,
like, come on.
That's crazy. Yeah, and I think Valve has consistently like stayed the best at like their, I don't know, maybe
their hits.
Yeah,
well,
they're hits, but also like they're not anti-consumer. It seems like to the extent that like they're,
like most because now any AAA game now has a fucking battle pass, bro.
Right. Yeah.
Or like skins that you have to buy, or fucking any sort of little microtransaction for maps.
It is crazy because there was this shift. I think it happened like 2016, 2017, where suddenly games just tripled in size.
I think it was those like film type games like Last of Us and like those fucking like big where it was like you're playing a movie essentially.
Yeah, I mean, but Last of Us isn't that big, I don't think.
It's like it's still like 50 gigs, over 50 gigs, which is huge. I mean, like compared to like Halo 3 back in the day, was on a disc.
Yeah. I mean, and that's like the crazy thing about games now is you buy a disc. And it's pretty much just like your ticket to play the game, like your key.
Yeah, that was back in the day. That's what it was.
And and that's still what it is. If you buy a disc now, there's no actual content on the disc. It's literally just your key to be able to play the game. Once you put it in, you can download it.
Yeah, I forgot that you can still buy discs.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you have to. Well, you did. You still did back then too. You still had to put the disc in and download it.
But now it's literally just like a key to let your console know you can play it. Because then you can't play it like that's
without the disc inside of it.
Yeah, that's what bewilders me about physical like video games at this point is that you can't play it without the disc inside it.
Yeah.
But you have to download it.
I mean, I think you've always had to download it though.
But not to. but I mean,
Actually,
back
no,
in like,
that's
like
not
PS2
true. Yeah,
and
you
shit,
could just
like,
bring a game over. What am I talking about?
Yeah,
I'm
you could just
fucking
bring a
cracked.
game over to somebody's and put it in, and it would just, it's the home, it's
Just
the
bring your game and your memory card.
Yeah,
and you're
yeah,
good.
exactly. Yeah. No, you used to just be able to like put a disc in and it would go.
Yeah.
I think usually because like with PC games back in the day that were all on discs, you had to it was already on the disc, you just installed it from the disc.
Yeah, it was just all the code that needed to be
and you just installed it.
and then you could play it whenever.
Yeah. Well, I think you still had that disc. Yeah, you still had to have the disc, but that's because you
needed to boot it.
Yeah, you were playing it off of the disc. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like, I mean, yeah, I think that.
I mean, like you were talking about sizes is because of that, and it's like being able to fit on a disc, whether or not you still have to download it afterward, is crazy compared to like Black Ops 6. It's what, like fucking 300 gigabytes or 250 gigabytes
like
or something
crazy.
Like that.
Why does it
390?
Editor Aidan here, just to do a little bit of damage control in case you're just one of those crazy Call of Duty fanatics. Black Ops 6 is actually only 102 gigabytes. The 300 plus is if you decide to download all of the other content available on the Call of Duty HQ app. So hold your horses. Don't be crazy in the comments, Call of Duty stands. I cleared the air. Like
390?
Like a game like
what
that?
What the fuck, dude? For what?
Like, yeah,
for
why does,
what?
Like, I don't understand why games like that are coming out every single year, like especially like NBA games or like the NFL games.
Yeah,
like,
the
these,
yearly
like,
rounds.
That are these huge fucking games, and it's like, for why? What? If the point of your game, like, it seems like the point of your games are all like gameplay focused.
Yeah.
Why are we like making them ridiculously huge with like crazy, like CS:GO, right? Beautiful, just simple graphics. And
again,
it's
shout out
to
Valve, bro.
Yeah, shout out to Valve again. Like literally, like
all classics from them.
Like it looks simple, but it works because it's a gameplay focused thing.
Yeah, it's all about the gameplay.
And that's why, like, you know what, like Last of Us, right? That's a movie.
It has leeway to be like good or bad gameplay wise. Like, as long as it hooks you.
The Last of Us is a movie, but still comparatively only 50 gigs.
True.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember if that's exactly it or not, but like, I'm sure it's around there. I'm sure it's around there.
I don't think it's more than 100. Honestly, for some reason,
I don't even think it's triple digits.
I'm pretty sure I'm wrong, but like for some reason, 42 is what I remember seeing when I went to download it. But it could have also been I was already downloading it. Like that's the number but that's the number. Yeah.
No, I don't think it's that big. It's definitely not fucking 400 gigabytes, dude. That's insane.
I wonder how big is the new Dragon Quest 3 2D HD remake?
I think like Baldur's Gate was like 80 gigabytes.
I think Baldur's Gate's more. I think it's like 110.
I mean, that makes sense. I give that one another pass.
But that one is huge. That's a huge.
It's also small for what it is what I'm saying. I think like that game would of any of the titles that I've been playing recently would be the one that would be fucking 300 gigs or whatever.
Yeah, people who have
it would make sense.
People who have like 600 hours in that game, I still hear be like, oh, this is new dialogue.
Yeah, no, you can play it like any time, like any amount of time.
Yeah, well,
still have
especially
a new
because
experience.
every time you play it as one of the different origin characters, we're getting kind of off the beaten path.
Well, yeah.
We'll have to just do a BG3 episode.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
I guess with the file size, right? Like it kind of goes into like, what about the like Fidelity versus Content? You know?
Yeah, because I think that's where the file size starts to inflate is when they're just like graphics.
I think it's one of the best, most baller things I've ever seen. But in the the video game Dunkey Black Ops 6 video,
shouts out to Dunkey,
where
bro.
he is downloading Animal Well over and over again, and he's like
8 times in a row,
and it's like. He's just so right, though. We talk about it sometimes where I say, like, well, this is just a genuine video game.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what
like
I mean?
we were playing at, was it Supermarket Simulator?
Supermarket Simulator and, Hifi Rush.
Oh, Hifi Rush. That's right, yeah.
Hifi Rush, I said
because that's
like
that's the thing, is like it's not the most like high graphics, but it's stylized and it's such a way
and it
makes
feels
me like,
good to play.
Yeah, it's like fluid and it's nice.
And
that's why it doesn't need, I think the AAA games these days are leaning more to the fidelity side of things, where they need to like focus on the content side of things.
And you know, most general audiences who aren't like video game heads, right? Like who are people playing Call of Duties every time they come out, and NBAs every time they come out.
New FIFA stuff. Or
whatever. Those people will look at stuff that's stylized and be like, these graphics suck.
Yeah,
right?
like, I can't play. I can't even. That's not even like a real person.
And so, well, that's crazy to me because it's those same people who are like also like playing Black Ops 6 that are also still playing like Fortnite.
Dude, yes, yeah. And it's like how that's not a real. I mean, there's real people in it now. You can buy so many skins that are just real people, dude. You can have fucking Thanos nay-naying on Ariana Grande's dead body.
I think this is kind of, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, AAA has become most of the services. Like
they
things
just
that are
want
like,
people want stuff.
Yeah, things that are like services, like live services you pay for. So like the NBA stuff where you have to buy like microtransactions.
Yeah, your
right?
little to build your teams, you need packs.
And honestly, I feel like that there's a weird divide between like AAA games, right? And then like AAA games like The Last of Us or like any other big game that's coming out right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, like Starfield.
Starfield, yeah.
Good example.
Like AAA games like that, and then the AAA space of like live services, because like NBA still could try to consider AAA, right?
Well,
and
yeah,
then,
I think any of those, like, what's the fucking the developer?
And I think that just goes to
those?
show kind of that contrast,
EA?
though. But I think that goes to show the contrast of the actual like the value versus like the content you're actually getting.
No,
right?
yeah,
like you're paying
AAA
for this shit every year, and it's exactly the same.
Exactly. No, exactly. And same with like battle passes for Fortnite. It's the same shit, just like with a little bit of pepper on it now. You know what
exactly.
I mean? Every time it's just the
with
same
battle,
dog shit reused.
Yeah, it's the
over and
live
over again.
services are what's considered like the biggest games, and those are AAA because they're the biggest games.
Yeah, and I think the shift, like you said, happened way back in probably like 2016, where like companies were like, "Oh shit, they made how much money? All we have to do is wait, what? And we can put what in it?"
Yeah, I mean that we definitely saw a shift after Fortnite, right?
Yeah, well, like once Fortnite got really popular.
Yeah, and I mean it really started just like the time when fucking it started when Microsoft released the first Xbox, and you had to, for the first time, pay for online.
Bro, yeah.
That's when it started.
Xbox Live,
That's where this can probably all link back
the
to.
original microtransaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would, or fucking Horse Armor. Either one. I think Horse Armor is a better example.
Well, I think that's where it started, right? But that's fair enough, right?
I get it. Yeah,
you pay for online service. As a PC gamer, most of my life, it seems like a ripoff.
It definitely was a ripoff. Thank God for modders.
Okay, I get it. Like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
make your bag, man. But
like, you sell the console.
It evolved so much. The snowball kept balling,
The Horse Armor is the other. Like, if you were looking at a timeline, the Horse Armor is the next like point on it.
Oh yeah,
or next like big point probably.
Yeah, but Xbox Live, the service of Xbox Live was like
before that. I mean,
big
PS2,
bang.
You didn't really have to pay for it.
No,
PC,
you plugged it in via LAN port, and you can just play online.
Yeah, you never had to pay. You've never had to pay for it on PC.
No.
Yeah,
you just have access
Thank
to the
you,
internet.
Valve, for setting that standard.
Yeah,
Thank you, Valve, for setting that standard.
Dude, it's so crazy that a company so good got into the space so early, and it was just like, no, this is how we run things here. Sorry, guys, I don't know how
and it like hurts me to buy stuff outside. Well, and like Steam has its own problems, sure, right? Like
I mean, they're not perfect. And
corporation, like
companies
we're
be
sucking
perfect.
Valve's dick here a lot, but at the end of the day, they are still a corporation.
They're coded,
like, yeah. So Steam was the original like launcher on there, and now I feel weird about buying anything on like Epic. Or like,
like going on G2A and getting it feels dirty. I feel like I'm in like a seedy back alley.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I do like
somebody's gonna scam me out here.
GOG is a good old games is good because you can get a lot of stuff from there for like really cheap.
Right.
But then it hurts me, like, I don't know if it's just how my brain works, but it hurts me to not have it all in like one place, you know?
Yeah, no, because it's like it's more cataloged that way, and that's kind of what they designed it for anyway, is to be like a big catalog of all your shit.
Right.
Which is it's pretty sick. That's why I think again, Valve W, and that should have been the standard for what AAA like companies need to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and I
maybe
think
not have your own launcher and like all this older, because like Epic wants to do that or it does do that, and like so does fucking Rockstar
launcher, dude. If you buy the new Call of Duty on Steam. You have to open it.
Yes,
you have to open it through the Blizzard client.
Such a process.
You have to open it through the Blizzard client, and then that opens the Call of Duty client.
Yeah.
And then you can start the game. And I'm sorry, but
like,
I am
3 clients deep.
I am not,
and then when you're in the thing, you still have to select which game you want, and then it gets to that home screen.
Not a person who is willing to go 3 clients deep. Personally.
Yeah, no
fucking way.
It's like any of them could crash, and I'm just fucked.
Yeah. Like, even when I played a lot of Blizzard games, I don't really play anything from them anymore. But even when I played Blizzard games, I would just start it from the Blizzard client. Like, like if it was like Rockstar, usually I do start that because Rockstar's is pretty clean through Steam.
Yeah, well, and it just comes up for you. You know,
Yeah,
what I mean?
it just kind of
pops up
works.
right
Yeah.
up for you, and yeah, they work together well. But
So I guess with this like question of fidelity versus content, right?
I know we got in the weeds there, but
yeah, but with this question of fidelity versus content, I think more and more for people who are like average video game players who are like really like
well, they
playing
want
it.
the flashy looks, the good
Well,
like
not
I'm
even-
watching a movie.
Sorry,
type shit.
I'm talking about like the actual like people who would like play games like us, like
oh
where we
yeah,
play like
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
that's
Sorry, I
like,
misunderstood.
and like of course there's everything in between, right?
Yeah,
Because
it's
we
a
play
spectrum.
a lot
Gamers
of
are a
video
spectrum.
games. There are people who will only play those like popular video games, but then
Yeah.
just like everything else, there's a spectrum.
Right.
But for people who are playing a lot of video games, I think that the line between AAA and indie is like becoming more and more
like blurred almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it used to be like a fine line. It was like you're either like a person or a small group of people developing a thing on your own, or you have support from a big company. Like
Yeah, well, but then I think that like more and more, and this goes back to the point with like Dunkey and like starting up Animal Well, right? Like
yeah,
at the end, like that is just like worth so much more to me. Being able to like just play the game.
yeah, like just
And
just
for
have
it
fun
to just
with
be
it.
a
Yeah.
good game that's about like built around the idea of the the gameplay,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, as opposed, well, yeah, just exploring is the game, and then you'll find out how to play afterward.
yeah, and I'm a big fan of games like Hollow Knight. I like Hollow
Yeah,
Knight a
yeah,
lot.
it's like a figure it out yourself type of deal.
Yeah.
Like, where am I? What am I doing? Like, yeah, very explorative.
Well, and you like very like just like movement gameplay focused, I guess.
Yeah, quick.
Which is why for me the best like battle royale I liked was Apex Legends, just because of how
You're zooming around that
fast
map.
it was. Yeah, that shit was great. I really liked it.
What do you think about our battle? Like, is Fortnite AAA? Like, is battle royales in general, are they AAA?
So interesting question.
What do you think?
I think that if we're thinking about what AAA traditionally means, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like the companies that have the most money behind it that are at this point.
That's what
AAA means,
what I relate to it. It's like because I grew. That's what it meant when I was like growing up
And
around video games.
but it is-
and I feel like that's where it should be.
Well, and the meaning is warped though, where it's
Yeah.
not just like having the most money behind it doesn't
No,
mean
it's
anything anymore.
The one that makes the most money really now is a AAA
and
game.
I think that's where we go beyond AAA.
Yeah, it's quadruple A even.
Quadruple
There's a fourth A.
There's a fourth A.
It was hiding there the whole time.
Yeah, it's past games like Last of Us, like these like Starfield.
Yeah,
these
yeah.
Final Fantasy VII remakes. These big AAA
It's
games.
the cash cows, the ones that you can just milk forever
That's where
and ever and
quadruple A
ever.
comes from. That the people who just refuse to have like Call of Duty, they refuse to have a small file. You
Yeah.
have to buy a new one every year.
Yeah, there's always just the extra little content that
It
you
is
have to
the one
spend
that
hundreds of dollars on
And it's the one that gets people every time too. Everybody always buys it every year.
time. It's like a tradition. It's like a holiday when COD comes out. Everybody's like, and still people will complain about it. They're like, oh man, fuck this one. I ain't playing this one no more. And then still, I have hundreds of hours in it. It's like what?
Games like COD or like Fortnite, they're the quadruple A now.
Oh, so you think Fortnite first quadruple A game?
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
I actually do agree with you there. I was gonna, when we were talking about it earlier, I was like, oh no, I don't want you to, because that's what I think too. It's kind of gone beyond. It's like a step above, and I'm not complimenting it by any means. This is
it
not
just
like
means
a
that
high
it is the one
praise.
that is making the most money
Yeah.
and consistently putting money into it, and it's because it's a live service. It's
never,
beyond.
it's
a
never
game
gonna
that
die.
ends,
Yeah,
right?
They
Like-
just keep evolving it to different.
And yeah, that's definitely,
heights.
Yeah, it's not a good thing necessarily at all. I would
It's a
argue
change.
I would argue that it's not necessarily. Again, I think it just comes down to how for people who just want to play those games every year, it's like,
I mean, yeah.
what are we gonna
have
do?
them. There you
all,
go.
all we can do, I guess, is not play them, right?
Yeah, I think we have a sad habit of, well, obviously as humans, we always want like the next thing, and I think in games we get sequels out of it, in movies even we get sequels, and because people want this things that they like, they want more of the things that they like.
Yeah.
But we have a bad habit. Like video games are playable all the time. If you like something, go play it.
Yeah, true.
It doesn't have to go away.
And I had this problem with I was telling you with Metro. I had just recently beat Metro 2.
Yeah.
And I have already owned the third one for a while because I bought them all in a bundle. Thank you, Steam. I had this like war in my brain where I was like, I just finished that one, and I was like, I feel bad for like wanting to play more of this series like without playing something in between.
Yeah.
Like instead of going from like Metro to Metro, I was like, I feel like I have to play or finish a different series or like a game first.
Yeah, like almost like guilty because I don't know I can't leave this world without knowing all about it.
Yeah.
Because it hooked me so good. Yeah.
And I felt like guilty. Well, I felt like bad that I wanted to just dive into that game. I was like, why don't I want to just like play a different game? Like I had been playing Persona 3 for so long. And then I just switched over and was playing these other games. And I'm like, well, why can't I just go back and finish like Persona? So, but yeah, I think I don't know.
Fortnite quadruple A.
Fortnite quadruple A. That's kind of what we've gotten out of this.
So we've been talking a lot about the successes of AAAs.
We have, yes.
In our favorite AAAs, and you know what we've been doing right.
Yeah.
What are some reasons that maybe people wouldn't like AAAs? Why would they leave a bad taste in your mouth? Why is this a controversial topic?
Well, I think it has to do with hype. I think there's a lot of hype that goes into it for sure.
Yeah.
Right? Like
the spread of information.
The spread of information, right. And also like building the hype. Because I'm pretty sure GTA 6, right? That's gonna come out. I think when it first comes out, people are gonna be like pissed about something.
Well, it's gonna be so that's the thing with like this huge file sizes like we were talking about, is there's no way to like make sure it works perfectly. Right. It's that big, you know what I mean? So of course it's gonna be a buggy mess, and everybody's gonna hate it and be like, "We waited all this time for GTA 6 and it sucks."
And that's the thing,
like,
exactly.
Yeah, well, it won't suck once it's finished, but like it's just not finished.
Yeah, you guys kept on pressuring them to release it, and then the studio was pressuring them to release it, and it's like at some point, like I think at some point where the current AAA space is on the gamers.
Yeah, you guys keep pre-ordering all this dog shit.
Stop pre-ordering
and
shit.
Being like, I want it now. Give
Force
it to me
them
the
to
game
release
now.
a finished product.
They need to finish the game.
Force them to finish to make a finished product. Like actually, like it's
like, the most important part.
Unfortunately, it's none of the people who are making the game's fault. Usually.
No, because they're like they're under the fucking whip of this deadline, and then they're like, oh, it actually just got tightened.
I feel like that's another thing that I associate with AAA now is poor working conditions.
Well, yeah, I mean, they
dead time.
They're so
like
big now that
like,
they can't like afford to lose that like productivity time, so they have to be like fucking go. I know it takes this long, but like who cares? We only have this long.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, in terms of like AAA letdowns, what's one that like, so like we talked about Concord, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you remember Anthem?
Dude, yes. That's like, and it's in the similar vein too, which is upsetting because it was like a story-driven game too.
It was it was supposed to be kind of like Destiny, right?
That was like a long-term like raid sort of.
I played a little bit of it because it was free when I had like PS Now or whatever.
Right. I never got to because it was it didn't come to
like,
Xbox.
Yeah, plug was pulled quickly, right? I mean, how long did Anthem last? A couple weeks, yeah. Which is, I think, before Concord, maybe the first time or like last time I remember something like that.
How much was the budget for that? Look that up for me. Please.
Budget of Anthem.
The budget of Anthem, because that's what we were talking about with Concord. Fucking $400 million,
well, and it's because
you can't
they
make a game that people want to buy.
And it's because they expected it to be a live service. That's why they put so much money into it, is because they expected it to be a long-term
something we can change over time
service,
to keep up with the times.
And you're going to be buying loot crates or
and skins
fucking whatever.
And
fucking exactly. Like that's why they dumped so much money into it. Again, they thought they were making a quadruple A game.
Yeah, which is they're like shooting for the stars, and it's like, no man, make what you make. Just make games.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be that hard. People will play any game that you release.
I mean, yeah. How many times have they made Far Cry?
Dude, like 7 now, I think.
And what's crazy is that Far Cry, the first 2 Far Cries are real, genuine video games.
They're so
and
good.
the third one, of course. The third one as well. But then they become these quadruple A games.
I know, they're like fucking, here, spend $7 on this pack for the skins for this truck.
Go ahead.
According to Google, it says there isn't much information about the budget for the video game.
Oh, they scrub that shit from the internet? They don't want you to know.
Add Reddit to the end of it.
Yeah.
Add how much was the budget for Anthem, Reddit.
That's how you get any... Dude, the Google AI, that's a whole different topic.
Yeah, dude, we should make one about Google AI, or AI. What?
Oh, it is BioWare, yeah, not EA, but still, I think it was published by EA.
BioWare is a
subsidiary of EA, though.
Well, yeah, but BioWare is because they just released Dragon Age, Veilguard.
Oh yeah,
Vanguard or whatever it is,
Vanguard, yeah.
And that game was supposed to be this huge AAA game, and it was like the big. I mean, they were like babying you.
Yeah, we watched some of it earlier. It was so. What was the thing? It was like, oh, how could this day get any worse?
Oh yeah,
like fucking
and like
so
literally
stupid, bro.
Literally, it was the most like genuine. Oh brother,
Oh,
this guy
man,
stinks.
yeah. How could this day get any worse?
This would be a good thing to bring up. I think in terms of like overall creativity, right?
Yeah.
Most of the creativity in gaming right now is not in the AAA space.
No, it's all indie stuff.
Yeah, it's all indie stuff. And like the craziest thing is like, you know, the most creative stuff about AAAs are like all really esoteric, right? Because then like, or they're just like terrible, like Forspoken.
Yeah.
Had that same like cringe, bro.
Yeah, it's like just poorly implemented characters, badly written, just bad design all around. Like that's yeah, you don't sell games like that, definitely.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like because that's also was that Sony?
No. I actually don't even know who
I don't know who
produced
made that. They don't want you to know either.
Yeah, they're not happy about it. I guarantee that. But I think so. Like a good one of my favorite examples of like a AAA flop, and it's also the best comeback story. Because I love the game so much, is Cyberpunk.
I knew, and I haven't actually sat down to play it yet. Unfortunately,
dude, it's so good.
At the time, I got the bug where I could see all of the no matter where I was on the map, I could see all of the trees within a radius around me, like through buildings and stuff.
Yeah, they clipped all the
and
dude, it's so bad.
I was enjoying the game. I tried. I like uninstalled it, reinstalled it. I turned the settings all the way down.
Dude, it's a completely different game. They like restructured the way that like combat works and like how you can implement your like cyberware and all your weapons and shit. Like, dude, it is crazy, but it's so cool. Like it's what they should have done. Unfortunately, it sucks that like it couldn't have been released like that. But
oh fuck, what's the space game that came out and people were just like flabbergasted about how it just didn't land any of the promises they were making, and it's about you going between planets. No.
Yeah, I mean Starfield was
not Starfield.
Definitely that, but
no, it was a like survival game pretty much, and it's like you go between these planets.
Yes. Oh shit. Oh, bro.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
That is another a comeback success story that I have never played that game, but like it sounds like it's really good now.
Same thing. I heard that and I was like, oh, I was looking into it and I'm like, oh, there's like online players, there's enemies now, there's like ways to like do a whole bunch of shit that wasn't when it first came out. And I got through like half of the tutorial and I was like, this still sucks. Yeah. It's like a lot still. Like it's like a survival crafter. Like survival especially.
Yeah, but so would something like that is considered, I mean, like AAA, right? Or was that considered?
I think so. That's a Microsoft game.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's just straight up Microsoft Studios.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess what makes a good AAA game?
So yeah, AAA is like an esoteric thing for a lot of people, I think, and there can be a lot of answers to this question. Personally, there's the three pillars. Characters, content, and there was one more that we were talking about earlier that I had said earlier. Content, and gameplay, dude. Yeah, is it fun? So are the characters well written and well designed? Is the content there? Can you interact with it well? And is it fun to play?
And I think when you do the game right, all of those,
it's all there.
All of those, and they tie together.
Yeah, they need to be there.
The gameplay interacts with the like story and interacts with like the
exactly
like,
the characters
correctly.
and the content of the game. And yes, no, without one, the others don't work, and so without the others, like it just doesn't. It's a big mess. You know what I mean? So it needs those three at least, and anything else on the side that you can do, like any sort of cool features or like.
So I would say,
I don't know, accessibility things. It doesn't need to be that big.
I would say a really interesting, very specific example of everything that we're talking about is, we were saying it earlier, Hifi Rush.
Yes.
So because Hifi Rush is so if you've never seen it, Hifi Rush is a game where essentially you're a guy who can beat people up to the beat, and you do combos because of it, and it's a gameplay focused, like mechanical, like game that you're doing stuff, and it's
a game-ass game.
It's a real genuine. Yeah, it's a game-ass game.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Thinking about what defines a AAA game, I would consider that AAA because it was developed or like produced by Bethesda.
Yeah, like a big
a huge
corporate
company. It had the backing behind it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Budget, yeah.
And obviously,
whatever
I think,
it needed, it got. Type of thing.
Obviously, I think for a lot of people, that is the difference. Is like because an indie developer is a small studio or a single person.
Like Animal Well.
Like
even
Animal
though
Well.
it was published by
Donkey.
Big Mode.
Big Mode.
It was published by Big Mode. It still
was one
an
guy
indie game.
And he worked on it for like 8 years or something, just by
something
himself.
Nuts.
Yeah. And that like I know we keep talking about Donkey, but I think he is
Well, it's
like
a good
legitimately
example of,
he's just one of the like best voices in gaming right now, which that some people might really hate that, but
no, he's easily the best video game review channel.
I think he has the best
in
representation of like how like people just feel about
it's like the most casual view of a gameplay experience. Usually.
Yeah, from somebody who is like very like obviously critical of it.
Yeah. Friend of the show, Donkey. Hey, come
back onto the show, Donkey. You know, last time the footage got corrupted, so we couldn't upload it, but we could do that again, man.
Yeah, it's easy.
Come talk to us about something you're interested in.
Yeah.
You just tell us what. We'll play it. We'll watch it.
And I better get it too.
But yeah, so like Hifi Rush is a AAA game because of how it was produced, right?
Yeah.
But it still fits into like
the categories of it's like it's got the three pillars.
Yeah, I think it's a good like and the story is like whatever, like but it doesn't have to be because it knows that it's a gameplay focused game.
Right, you're in it. You're there because you're having so much fun doing the gameplay that you can be as repetitive as you want with the combat system and the leveling design and like because you're just there playing a game and enjoying the characters and the setting and
it's just fun.
Fluidness of it. It's just fucking fun.
And I think sometimes games become homework.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I feel like I have to play this game, or like, it just gets frustrating because I keep losing at this game that I need to play.
Like personally, for me, one of the things that I have with like open world games, so like Skyrim. Truth be told, I'll say it live here for the first time.
Fuck it, I'll say it live.
I have never beaten Skyrim, front to back, but I have played so much of Skyrim. I also know how it ends. I mean, you do the big fight with the dragon, whatever. But like, I have never played it front to back. But I have
the big dragon, he says.
Yeah, but I have played so much of it. I don't know. I start doing it and I do like a whole like storyline. For example, like the like a big like Brotherhood quest line, and then I'll usually like I did Mage's Guild. I downloaded mods last time. I did like a bunch of shit. I have like hundreds of hours in that game.
Yeah.
Never beaten it to completion.
That's just crazy because the main quest is like you can just do it.
I know it's super easy.
Yeah.
But I think that's why I just wasn't like I just didn't care about it because I kind of
it's like I get what's coming. I don't need to experience.
Yeah, the rest of the game is way more interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
that's where I'm at with like BG3 right now. I have no intent on doing any of the main quests. I'm out just exploring.
Like I feel like if I sat down, played Skyrim front to back, and like actually beat it. The only reason I would be doing that is to just say, I beat Skyrim.
I did the thing.
Right?
Yeah.
I already know what happens. I had my fill. I was downloading mods and playing these like murder mystery mods and like all this
super elaborate
like crazy mods. But then I was like, I mean, I'm level whatever. I could very easily just go beat
kill
the game.
The guy. Yeah.
But like I think I'm done.
Well, the game continues afterward too, though.
Yeah,
like, it doesn't
obviously,
just end.
yeah. Well, it's not like that was one of the things that I hated as a kid was when games would end.
So it rolls credits
and then you just start.
Kicks you out to the main title screen.
And then when you start again, you just start before you beat the last boss.
Yeah, I'm like, there was so much extra that I fucking where'd that go?
Lame.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of like what makes a good AAA game, like I think the question isn't what makes a good AAA game because of Hifi Rush, it's just like what makes a game like worth it, right? Because games have like so many different price values, right?
100%.
From your $5 games to your $60 games to your regular quadruple A $80 games.
Yeah, because that's the regular price now for a lot of these fucking games.
A lot of these games.
It's crazy because you're not even paying for a disc anymore.
But I think,
sometimes you are.
Like for example, Dragon Quest 3, the 2D HD remake.
Yeah.
I think that was $60, right?
Yeah,
and
probably.
So they could have very easily charged $70, $80 or whatever.
Because it was $60 and
we
put work into it.
Yeah, that's the standard,
Yeah.
But they were like, well, it's not. I mean, we don't have to because it's not that kind of game, right?
No,
like,
no.
I unfortunately, it sucks that the standard is $80 now. But I think that for the most part, people who are like making a game because of their like love for it, right? They know how to price their games. Like that's like, okay, it's a new remake. Like it would be fucking criminal of them to do $80.
Yeah.
But 60 is like,
people
okay,
be like,
fair
no,
enough.
I'm not paying that.
Yeah. But the thing is I think that people would. People who wanted to do that, I think they would have.
Right.
But I think that with what that game is, they know like, okay, well, it's not like a 4K fucking 3D animation like craziness, right?
Yeah. Or you could be like, who's the dev of the oh god, Saints Row series? When they re-released Saints Row,
The remake of it.
yeah,
or
the remake of the first one, dude. When they had it in the bag, and then they were like, "No, it's full game. It's gonna cost $60," and it sucked ass. It sucked
was
major
so
ass and
bad.
titties. It was really, really bad.
Yeah, I was really psyched for that.
I know, dude. Me too. I'm a huge Saints Row fan.
I was
And
like,
the franchise was there. All you had to do was just make more.
Mhm.
It was already set up. You didn't need more of that.
I think that's an interesting point because I think what's going to be crazy, and you know, we can come back and talk about this once it actually like plays out. GTA 6.
Yeah, dude. I'm cautiously optimistic
I
because my trust has been ruined.
look, man, look. They have had so many years. When did GTA 5 come out? 2011 to
2008,
12?
dude. 2008,
No.
2009.
No.
Yeah, dude. Right around because I remember. It was like. Oh
Yeah,
what?
Yeah.
No
yeah,
way.
yeah. 2013. So it's been 11 years. And don't get me wrong, they released Red Dead 2. Masterpiece.
I mean, oh my god.
You are watching a
gaming
master
does
at
not
work
get
with
better than that. I don't
it
think.
like Red Dead 2 is
That's
a
it.
genuine, beautiful AAA game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I don't think there is a problem with the game.
Complete. Well, and I'm sure some people might hate like storylines or like certain quests
whatever,
or whatever,
dude. It's all part of the game.
But it's literally like a complete world. Like you interact with like every piece of it. It's
yeah,
beautiful.
it's all for you.
And I'm interested to see what happens with GTA 6 because
If they keep in that direction, I mean, how much more immersive like could you really get
right. I
without
mean, it
being
just,
like cumbersome to the player?
You know, I mean, I still think, you know, like GTA and like the first Red Dead, right? They still had their differences.
Of course.
And I think they obviously carried over into the later entries, like 5 and our Red Dead 2.
Yeah, I mean, Red Dead 1 was more of like a clone of what like GTA San Andreas at the time, kind of, but like Cowboy. They had like the same sort of, well, not in San Andreas. It was a little
And then
more.
they came back with
complicated
2,
than that,
and we're
but-
like, we're about to tell one of the best stories in gaming history.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
And
going down.
that might be a controversial statement. Allegedly, that's one of the best
No,
stories.
that's how I don't
Yeah.
fuck that.
No.
That's how I feel.
No, that's how I feel too. Because
The most memorable.
Yeah, it's most memorable, and like I remember telling you that I was playing it, and like the light up on your face,
Dude, okay, so I had finished it a couple times by the
Yeah.
time you had started to play it, and he was like, "Yeah, I think I'm finally getting around to starting Red Dead 2," and I was like,
He was so excited.
"Let's go!"
And what's crazy is I remember after I beat it, texting you.
Yeah, being like, "Dude," and I was like, "Do you need me to come over?
I know.
Come give
I
you a
was
hug?"
like, I was emotional, bro. I was like, I am like feeling so much.
Yeah,
it
I
was
like,
insane.
"Oh, I know. Trust me, man. I've been there."
I absolutely and I think one of the things that Red Dead 2 did so well that makes it, in my eyes, one of like the best games, right? Like one of the is just the so we were talking about like those 3 things that like
The
bring
3
you
pillars.
yeah, the 3 pillars. I think at the center of those 3 pillars, what they lead to is immersion.
Well, of course, yeah.
You know?
That's the goal of any good video game is to
'Cause,
get
like-
you there in the perspective of the
'Cause,
player.
like whether it's like Hifi Rush, right? Like you want to be there and be like with the beat, and you want to
Yeah,
fucking
you want to
feel,
be like fully into it.
yeah, you want to
yeah.
be like, I am this guy fucking kicking these dudes ass to the beat.
Yeah.
And like in any game, no matter what it is, you are trying to almost in a way draw empathy out of people for like what's going on. Like
No,
even
100%.
even for example, Pac-Man, right? Like you those ghosts start chasing you and you're
And
like,
you're like, "Oh shit, oh shit," and then you get the big dot, and you're like, "Yeah, fuck you, I'm coming for that ass,
Yeah,
I'm coming for that ass."
I think it's interesting how many like horror games fall into the like AA space.
Yeah, okay, and that's what I was gonna say too, because I really don't like horror games for that reason. They really try to push the immersion on you, as opposed to just like crafting a world that would cause you to be.
Well, I
scared.
mean,
you know
I
what does that make sense?
Well, I mean, I think that like games like Amnesia, the original
That's a
one.
great example of a good horror game. Actually.
Yeah, a great example
because
yeah.
it doesn't like impose this like like feeling on
Dude,
you. It
I
just
mean, even-
is a feeling of dread. you
Even
know?
like Metro Last Light that I played,
Yeah.
that is not a horror game, but it has like horror light elements, right?
Right.
And like playing through it, there were moments of legitimate like I was like, okay, I have
Panic,
a gun,
yeah.
and but yeah, like there's just moments of like panic because I was like in the fucking world, you know?
Yeah.
It did such a good job at like bringing me there that like I was like these freak scorpion spider things are after
yeah,
me.
and I'm gonna die if they get
Dude,
me. Yeah.
if you played Metro Last Light, the shrimps, dude, that's fucked. Those things are fucked. I don't know who came up with the shrimp, but those things
Never
are
played it.
gross.
Yeah, it sounds nasty.
Giant mutated shrimp that are like after you, man. It's
Yeah, icky.
disgusting. But yeah, like the designs were like grotesque and they like made me like grossed out by them. And so when they got close to you, you're like,
You're like, oh, don't touch me. Ew. Oh god, don't touch me.
But I think at the end of the day, like those three pillars bring in and they draw you in and they create that immersion, right?
They're
And
the pillars that the immersion house stands on.
yeah, exactly. And so
The triangular immersion house.
yeah, exactly. And that's why, like, I don't know. So, like, when you're playing a game like Fortnite, have you played a game of Fortnite?
I have. Oh, like, yeah, fairly recently, actually, too.
When you play a game of Fortnite, is there any point where you would say you are immersed, unaware that you are playing a video game?
Well, like, yes and no, because I'm gonna use the term locked in, because it's like it's a competitive sort of like immersion. You know what I mean? I'm there. I understand that I'm in the video game and like I'm making call outs based on the video game, and like I know that I'm not this guy in this world, but I'm like my brain shut off because I'm trying to win. You know?
Right. Yeah. You are immersed because you are no longer thinking about playing the video game. You are locked in, and the video game is just happening.
Yeah, because
You are-
I'm the one doing it, so I have to.
And you're
to
not
win.
even.
I
and-
have to be locked
yeah,
in.
you're not thinking about it anymore because that's what makes you second guess. Is when you
Exactly.
start
Yeah.
thinking
No,
about
you
what you're
just
doing.
playing the game.
Yeah, you're just playing
so
the game.
like yes and no. It's for different reasons, and that's why I don't think it's like as good of a video game as like something that like a Red Dead 2 that gets you immersed. Like
Like when
I
you
wouldn't-
stop
yeah.
playing it, you have to like sit there for a second and remember that you exist.
Yeah, that's why I
right?
wouldn't call
Yeah.
like immersion in Fortnite. It's it's like you get locked in. Same with like COD. It's not like I'm not this
Right.
guy with this gun. I'm like I'm playing against all these other fucking weirdos.
Thanks so much for checking out the first episode of our talking show, I Think You're Wrong. Kind of like a podcast, but not quite there. Sorry that the ending was abrupt. We just started going down rabbit holes, and so if you want to see us finish this conversation, subscribe. Let us know by liking the video, and let us know what you think about the AAA space in the comments down below. Until then, you can also click one of the things on the screen to watch more remotely better.